I mean, what do you want to know about the Gen 1 Exodus? Was it all 7 or 4? It was 5 of us because at the time, JP wasn't being supported at all. We didn't really have the means to support Nasa and Michiru in the way that they needed as members of the company, which was obviously extremely frustrating for them. So when the mass exodus thing came, like at that point to Nasa and Michiru, it was like they kind of just didn't care whatever happened because it's not like they were being taken care of in the first place. So it's like, why would they care at all? I mean, you guys know this. It used to be like a very hot topic of conversation about FaZe back in the day, that like why would you guys even have JPs if you can't support them? And like as like the EN members, we felt terrible because like there was so much we wanted to do for them, but there's like restrictions with the type of content that you can do out of Japan. So it made like certain things really difficult. Like if we all wanted to play a game together, they would need perms, or at least we thought they would need perms, but like we wouldn't, type of a thing. And navigating that, and also we didn't really have too many staff members that could talk with them directly. And I mean, it was just the 7 of us, and it's not like, you know, Pippa or me can like have at-length conversations with them, so they felt really excluded for the longest time. But that's kind of why Midori became a thing. And that's why like we have FaZe JP Kaleido expanding, so they can have like more people to interact with them, more support. We've got like a, you know, a Japanese branch, like a dedicated Japanese manager these days. So while it's hard for us to like properly expand out there, we do have a lot of good supports for them and people that know how to navigate this. So I hope that like that's given them some reassurance. It's definitely helped them come out of their shell a lot more too. I would think like we weren't crazy close until like maybe like 2 years ago even. Like talking at length with each other, besides like passing collaborations for one reason or another. Yeah, I feel like within the past 2 years we've become really close, and it feels like we're a cohesive unit for the first time. In the beginning we tried our best, but I think the language barrier really defeated us on both ends, and there's not much we could do about it. I know like we used to ask like really aggressively, like, oh, can we get like Japanese lessons like in-house, like, you know, to talk with them more, but you know, funding and certain things, it just wasn't possible for us. Gen 1 Exodus, I mean, it basically boiled down to like, when we debuted, you know, like you go, like you watch VTuber debuts, even from like new companies, right? Like Prism Project is a great example. And they had their debuts, they were awesome. They were polished and they had beautiful assets and they had like a million nice things and it was all custom and it felt very nice, and it felt like, you know, there was like money put into it and they put on like a nice production. When Gen 1 debuted, we had to make all of our own assets. Quotation marks. I've never worked Photoshop a day in my life. When we debuted, all of our assets were made by ourselves in like Canva. Yeah, Sakuna made Uraka's, Min's did my background, but all of like my graphics and stuff, they were all done by me. We used to have FaZe Weekly back in the day, and with FaZe Weekly we would have to go through we would get assigned, right? Like, okay, Leah, you're gonna do FaZe Weekly this week, and they'd be like, okay, so now you have to go through all 7 people's streams for the week and find timestamps to make like a half-hour-long video, and you have to edit it all together by yourself and then do a stream for it. I have the old like clips and stuff of it on a drive somewhere in my room. It was terrible. I used to be so stressed about it all the time. Yeah, 25 hours of streams just to make like a 30-minute clip. It was insane. And you know, like we didn't have like any support at all within the company. I mean, Sakuna and Godita, they did their best for us, but there's only so much they can do, right? So it was really frustrating, and we just the support that we thought we were going to get when we came into the company, we didn't have it, and it was really frustrating to us. And so that was like a big part of why we were like, okay, we're gonna leave, because we could just be treated better literally anywhere else. I remember like it was really frustrating for Gen 1 watching Gen 2 come together, because everything looked so good for them and we felt so jealous of how great everything looked. And it was like like, I remember it was like 2 days before my debut, Tenma came to me and she was like, Leah, do you have a video for your debut? And I was like, no, I don't know how to do edits for videos at all. Like, I don't know how to do that, so I'm not gonna have one. And she offered to make my entire debut video. So Tenma made the graphics for it. I did the voiceover and the scripting, and it was very much like a, you know, it was really sweet of her, but it was just us. We didn't have all these like grand stuff. And I remember we were so jealous of them. All this time later, like, you know, everyone gets jealous of like the new kids, right? Like, I'm sure Gen 2 felt this way seeing Gen 3 and Kaleido, and that's just normal. It just happens, right? But I think with FaZe Connect specifically, it's very much like you can tell how much the company has grown and how far we've come with every debut like we have, because each one is just so much better. And we literally started from absolutely nothing, you know. Go watch my debut and compare it to like literally any of the more recent ones. And I think that shows like it's a cool to like look back on, right? At what point did you believe the FaZe Connect had a future and was good for the company? Oh, and was a good company to work for. Not until like 2023. I was kind of just around because I didn't have any other option. And I liked it. I really liked VTubing too. I really liked VTubing. But I just didn't know that FaZe Connect was necessarily where I wanted to be because, you know, things were kind of terrible. But I was like, it's the best I can do right now. I mean, Pippa's even mentioned that we were sending in auditions to other companies while being in FaZe Connect within the first year. So, but eventually we were like, damn, this place is actually kind of good. Like, we're getting our shit together. And now, when I leave, fuck no. Anyways, how long did you expect FaZe Connect to last in the beginning? I think around the time that, like, some other companies started to go under or have like big implosions, I was like, no, FaZe is done for. So like back in like 22, 23, I was like, FaZe is done, man. FaZe is done. We're all gonna be unemployed. Let's all have panic attacks and kill each other. It didn't happen though. Unfortunately, we're still here. Unfortunately, we are like one of the only companies to have an entire first gen stay together, which is really cool. I'll wear that with pride until we have a graduation in 2 weeks. Oh shit, did I leak that? Who's graduating in 2 weeks? I mean, you didn't hear it from me, okay? You didn't hear it from me, but oh, don't even joke. I'm sorry. Being so long in FaZe Connect, was there ever a moment where someone came through at a clutch moment to save the day? Who was it and what would they do? I can't think of anything off the top of my head specifically, but if there was ever a clutch moment where someone pulled through on something that we really needed done, I think it would be the stuff that Dizzy and Lumi do. They're kind of like always pulling these like clutch moves, right? It's happened a couple times, but I can't think of like specific projects. They're very reliable people, very capable people, so yeah. And that's why the invaders are so cool, right? Any clutch moments on your end? Oh yeah. Today, I woke up only 15 minutes late and made it for the end of the meeting, and that was really clutch. Were you ever planning on jumping ship while being in FaZe? Yup. Many a time. So many times. And then when the places you audition hit you with the, well, you're already like Leah from FaZe Connect, so no, we can't take you. And it's like, oh, well, okay. Do you think the company was in a good spot when Gen 2 was being planned, or do you think the company was in implosion status? I personally have always felt like Gen 2 came way too early into the cycle of us figuring our shit out, and it was a little bit irresponsible to take on these new girls in the midst of like the company readjusting, because we did not have shit figured out when they came on. And I think that like the fact that Gen 2 has their own horror stories is just like proving my point. I've always felt like that. I felt like it was unfair to drag them in because, you know, they're girls that have like these big dreams and these big aspirations, and they wanted to be treated fairly, and we just weren't in a place to do that after, you know, everything that Gen 1 went through. But I mean, they were there already, and the most that we could do is just try to be there and support them. And I'm glad that things worked out, and I'm glad that they all stuck around too, because Gen 2 doesn't have any graduations because they're a fucking baller as well. But yeah, I mean, they had a lot more than we did, but I didn't feel like it was fair to drag other girls into the mess that we were dealing with at the time. Yeah, I know. Sakuna was fighting with them like crazy back then because of all this like stuff that was going on. I feel like if you're going to expand, you have to be in a place to support the people that you're expanding with. You know, like the VTuber industry is like overall, like it can be pretty rough because you'll have a bunch of people that will take advantage of young girls with these big dreams. And, you know, as like the streamer, the talent, you're entrusting these dreams to someone and hoping that you'll be taken care of fairly. And not everybody is equipped to treat people well when it comes to that. I don't think that Face Connect at the time was equipped to treat the girls well at all. And yeah, and I hear about Gen 2's stories, and like I remember like when I met them, you know, for the first time, hearing like the stuff that they had gone through, like I felt horrible. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with like Gen 1's feelings about it. We just wanted to make sure that if we were going to take on more talents, we were in a reasonable spot. But like Gen 1 had just like around the time that Gen 2 came into the company was like right after Gen 1 like had like our mutiny era, right? Like it was like a month later, and we were like are we really in a spot where we can do this right now? Because like we're still unhappy, like, you know? So glad that things all worked out, but I just my heart definitely broke for them at the time. You know, there's a lot of complicated emotions, but I don't like dragging other people into unfortunate circumstances, especially like as they get older and all of these new girls come in. So I'm grateful that they're all still around, and I'm grateful they stuck it out, and I'm grateful that things are so much better and they're having better times. But yeah, at the time we were just like very worried about them because things were not good. It's always a learning curve, but yeah, I feel like it's okay if we were the experimental ones, but Gen 2, they should have, yeah, because they were supposed to be like the idols, you know, like the idol gen, and you know, we should have done much more for them if that was the case. But with our situation, it was a bit difficult. Is Sakuna overextending now? No, the talents, we won't let him at all. No, every time he's like, yeah, like we should expand, like nope, absolutely not. That's why like every time you guys are like, it's a new gen, absolutely not. No, absolutely not a new gen. Like the other talents will not let that happen. Not because we don't want new girls, but because like we have a lot of girls and we don't have that many managers. Like, you know, that's like a thing you guys know. We do not have that many managers working in the company at all. And the managers that we do have, like it's too much work for them. They're constantly dying. They're constantly, you know, and like the talents, we're pretty much like managing ourselves still to this day with a lot of stuff. But yeah, and until we can get more staff, we can't get more talents. Shout out to the staff. They're the goats, especially like going from FaceCon and, you know, doing all of the work at FaceCon and then immediately having to come back and do like all the talent stuff like Gen 1 anniversary. It was crazy. I had a meeting with Cece this morning and she doesn't even have a voice. Like I felt so bad. You know, like we have a billion things that need to get done, so like the work can't stop, but it's like I wish that there was like a day off for the managers because they really need it. It's slow and it's steady. I think that Sakuna being super selective with the staff that he brings on is smart because all of our managers are really good managers. It's just we need more. But he's also got a really good eye for who he hires. Like just looking at everyone in the company, you know, managers in talents. Like he's got a good eye for it, but we need more managers. If I could change anything about my first year, what would it be? Everything. If Sakuna quit FaZe, if he ever sold the company off, I'd leave. If Sakuna sold off the company and left, I would leave too. I wouldn't even think twice about it. No, it doesn't matter how good things get, and it doesn't matter like what happens. If Sakuna ever let the money win and walked out on us, I would leave the company and I would hold a grudge against him for the rest of my life. Fuck, I fucked up my chat again. Hold on. Fuck, dude, I should not be a VTuber. Dude, somebody should kick me out of this damn company. No, wait, actually don't do that. I need this job. I need this job. I really need this job. I need this job so bad. I'm so sorry. I really need this job. Please don't kick me out. Everybody, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Low Effort Clips. That's right, Low Effort Clips, right here on YouTube.com. Yeah, and hit the notification bell. Yeah.